Today we're going to be looking at all the games released on Steam roughly a month ago. So we're going to go back to November 14th, 15th, and the 16th. And we're just going to look at every game that was released on those 3 days. And we're just going to look through and see what's what, see what did well, what didn't, and maybe get a sense of why the good ones did good and the bad ones did bad. Hey, welcome. My name's Chris. Welcome to Crunchy Games. I'm a gamer and game maker, and on this channel I'm going to talk a lot about making games and also the business of selling games, mostly PC games on Steam. Let's do it. I got my drink in hand and ready to do this. So I'm on SteamDB, steamdb.info, and they have a great tool that lists out every game that was released on a week-by-week basis, separated by the day. So this is exactly what I want, exactly what we're going to go through. So I'm going to go through one at a time and we'll see what we got. I'm going to skip the DLCs so you can see the little purple banner. I'm going to skip all the DLCs. And if we run across any inappropriate games, we'll skip those as well. Because honestly, those games don't really do that well sales-wise anyway. So let's start with We Who Are About to Die. So this one looks like it's done very well. About 2K positive reviews. We'll check that one out. Pentiment, about 1K positive reviews. We'll check that one out. The Oregon Trail. So just the Oregon Trail. So is this just like a nicer version of the original game? So I'm looking at where it says rating down there. It says 146 positive, 36 negative. I'm mostly looking at that. Sadly, SteamDB sorts by followers, and it does not sort by number of reviews. Number of reviews is a much better indicator for number of units sold than followers is, but followers is still a very good metric for kind of showing. It's kind of like wish lists, just showing how interested people are. But the reviews are from people who actually bought the game, so that's a much better indicator. So Oregon Trail, not that many, only about like less than 200 reviews, so I'm going to skip that. I'm looking for games that have reviews that are about over 600 or so. Between 600 and 700 reviews is about 20,000 units sold, so that's very well done in a month. And so I'm kind of considering that as like my threshold of like what's doing really well versus what's not. Not bad. It's very close to the threshold. I'll take a peek at it. Doesn't quite reach there. I'm also looking for games that I would just be personally interested in playing also. I very much like interesting small little indie games. I'm not really super into just like the big budget AAA games. So we're getting into the part where the followers are starting to get very low, in the low hundreds, and it's going to be extremely rare for the reviews to be any good if the follower count's that low. So I'm going to skip. Okay. So Gladiator Simulator, strategy roguelite spectacle. It's done very, very well. So in roughly a month, let's do some math here. It's done 1,951 reviews. The way we estimate, I estimate sales, and most other people do, is you multiply the number of reviews by 30, and that just gives you a rough estimate of units sold. So about 58,000 units sold. And there's obviously a range. The range is like 20 to 50 or so, and 30 is just kind of like a middle average number. So $22. Wow. So multiply that by $22. And then because I don't think it's been really on sale It's only because it's only been a month. I mean, maybe it was on sale on release, but maybe only 10%. So I would multiply this by 0.56. Basically saying, if you subtract the Steam cut, taxes, chargebacks, and returns, if you cut all that out, you're basically only getting roughly half of that revenue from Steam, about 56%, if you haven't run major sales. So this game's looking very healthy. In 1 month, about $720,000, and that's a ballpark. It could be anywhere from 600,000 to 900,000, but this is just like a middle ballpark number. But that's very, very healthy for 1 month. And it looks like Jordy. So this looks like an individual, self-published. So very happy for this person. They're probably going to be very financially sound here very shortly once they get their payout. So good for them. All right, next one. Pentiment. This seems like a narrative, story-based game. Puzzles, point and click, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, medieval Europe. Okay. It's done very well. Big publisher. $12.78 times 30 times $20 and times 0.56. About $430,000. That is very healthy for 1 month, but they do have a publisher, and it seems like they're a pretty large team. So I would say for this type of game, this game studio with a publisher, this is not healthy enough. The publisher, Xbox Game Studios, is probably taking 30 to 50%, probably. If we just do 40%, they get 60. So Obsidian Entertainment is only getting 250-ish thousand. That's probably like 1 year, maybe 2 years of running their game studio, maybe. So yeah, not the greatest. They're gonna need better than that. Given if this was a individual making this game, I would say that's extremely healthy. With a large team and a publisher, that's not good enough, sadly. Okay, let's go next. Path of Wuxia? This is like a gacha game. Okay, well, it's got an enormous amount of reviews. Let's see. Is there a graph? Okay. Oh, okay. So this did not just come out. This must have been like early access for multiple years. So I'm not going to consider this. This hasn't been out for a month. This has been out for several years in early access. Okay, not what I'm looking for. Ballads of Hong Ai. Unique city builder strategy game. Very interesting. Okay, very appealing art. Pretty kind of childlike though. It looks like little toys, little children's toys. Absolutely horrible trailer. If you're making your own game, do not make a trailer like this ever. This tells me absolutely nothing about the game except how it looks. Let's find something a little more informative. Okay, nope. Can't understand any of that. Wow, these trailers are terrible. Oh my gosh, okay. this wins so far this session of absolute worst trailers. I have no idea. All I know is it's a city builder that looks like it has childish toy art, although the art is very appealing though. 556. There's a demo though, that's nice. So if you are confused, you could at least play the demo. $10 is very reasonable. Whoops, 56 times 30 times 10 times 0.56. That is, I mean, it depends. So close to 100,000 ballpark in 1 month. If this is an individual, amazing CSUN. Amazing CSUN. If this is an individual, this is their only game. If this is an individual, that is amazing. $100,000 in 1 month. If this is a team of people, even if it's just 2 people, it's probably decent enough to make the next game. Like, why was this not in the trailer? This should have been in the trailer. I actually okay. Yeah, even if it's just 2 people working on this, they might have enough to make their next game to sustain them, but probably no profit whatsoever. The art is very appealing though, I like it. All right, next. Oh yeah, this was my specialty. It looked very appealing to me. So 92 times 30 times $20. Holy crap. Times 0.56. $30,000. I mean, there's a publisher. Oh, online co-op, online PvP. This game looks very nice, but I mean, it looks appealing to me personally, but it did not sell well. $30,000 in a month. If this was a single person and this was like their first game, amazing. But only $30,000, and there's a publisher and they have multiplayer. They probably spent an enormous amount of time making this game. And the servers are going to be empty because there's no one playing it probably. And they are the publisher's probably taking at least 40%, so they're getting 60% of that. So $18,000 to $20,000. Okay, so that was Monday, November the 14th. And so there was a lot of games here. Only maybe 3 or 4 of them made any real money, or any type of success. We Who Are About to Die, very, very successful. Amazing. That's the winner of the day. And then there's a lot of them. A lot of failures on here. 1 whole month, and these probably sold next to nothing. The $100 Steam fee to get a game on here, they probably didn't make back. So for all those games that were not successful, cheers to them. Hope they can do better next time. Okay, let's move on to the 15th. Zero Sievert. Very good. 4K reviews. No, about 300-ish reviews. Wow, 5K reviews. Very good. Oh, okay, we're getting in the high hundreds of followers, so probably not going to get any better from here. Primal Survivor. Oh, okay. So I'm actually making a game like Vampire Survivors currently, so maybe at some point I'll make a video on the game I'm working on, inspired by Vampire Survivor. So yeah, none of these are selling much at all down here, so that's about it for the 15th. So let's look, only a couple of them. Zero Sievert. Very well done. 4,000 reviews. That is ridiculous. 30. 125,000 units. That's ridiculous. 20. This is a $20 game. Holy crap. Wow. About $1.4 million. They do have a publisher. So let's just say they're only getting about 60% or 60% of that, just as an estimate. I'm sure in the next 11 months that'll probably be doubled, most likely. So good for them. Sweet. Zero Sievert. Okay, Bendy and the Dark Revival. No early access, flat out release. 5K, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And it's, oh my gosh, and it's a $30 game. Oh, that is very healthy. So a horror game. 150,000 units. $2.5 million. See, with games like this though, it's very like every game is hit or miss. But especially these types of like short. I mean, it looks like it's single player. So it just looks like a linear story-based horror game, and these have to be done ridiculously well, like this one, to be successful. It just has to be top-notch production value. Very few games can actually, or developers can achieve that, and self-published. So very, very good for them. Next, oh yeah, this is my pick. Primal Survivors did very poorly sales-wise. Yeah, I can see why. Yeah. Two developers, Old School Vibes and Gray Boss. That's very odd. You don't see that very often. Okay. Yeah, not good at all. 29, and I can see why. 29 times 30 times $3. 0.56. So about $1,500 in 1 month. Yeah. Sadly, that's kind of the average for most indie games on Steam. Very few indie games of this same scope and caliber very rarely breach $10,000, and that's in like the first year. So I'm not surprised, but I like to keep up on the Vampire Survivors genre. Oh yeah, I gotta take a drink for all the fallen comrades, all the people who spent a lot of time and work in all these games that did not sell hardly anything at all. Drink to you. Okay, let's go to the 16th, Wednesday the 16th of November. Nobody. 8K, very good. More like 11K total reviews. Let's see. Not quite hitting threshold. Veil VR. Oh, I'm not going to really pay attention to VR games, sadly. Most of them are not doing very well. I personally think it's more of a fad. I'm not into VR, so I'm just not really going to pay much attention to them. This is interesting. This is not done well at all, and it's a $60 game. Let's just take a peek. Very close, but probably no. See, this is painful. This just is very painful when I see stuff like this. Redemption's Guild, 2 reviews. Decent production value, not the best production value, honestly, now that I really look at it, but looks like they put a lot of work into a game like this. And it just does nothing. A whole month goes by and like no sales, and they're negative. That's not good. That's not good. I feel very bad. Probably nothing much left. The Killer Octopus. Revenge of the Killer Octopus. I don't know if you're noticing a pattern here, but it's like maybe of the, I don't know, what, 40 to 50 games that release every single day, only like maybe 3 to 5 of them actually make any money at all, period. And the rest of the other just 30 to 35 make literally next to nothing. Monochrome Mobius, 358. Not quite at my threshold. Let's go 358 times 30, 10,000. Oh yeah, I was looking at this one because it was $60. Josh, times 60. Well, they still made, because of the high price point, they still made about $360,000 in 1 month, which is very good. Yeah, this game is not doing too hot for being a $60 game. Moving on. Goodbye World. $12. 45 times 30 times 12 times 0.56. That's $70,000 in a month. There's a publisher though, 2 publishers. Yeah, so I don't know. Optimistically, the dev might get 40%. Optimistically, probably less. So about 27,000, 30,000, which in 1 month, $30,000 for an individual would be pretty dang good. If this is a studio though, and they've got employees or their partners splitting that money, then that would not be good whatsoever. So I'd call this a mild success if this is an individual. All right, so that was the 3 days. Few hyper successful games. You see the pattern there, like 3 to 5 games each day do very, very well. The rest of them do close to $0 in revenue, maybe 1,000, maybe to 5,000, but most of them are at the under 1,000 in revenue. And if you've got partners and publishers, that is just not good. But that is the nature of the beast. I feel like it has to be like that. There's really no other way. Just a couple games will get the majority of sales. That's just how things work. And so you just need to be extremely talented and have very good marketing and be a little lucky, honestly. So that's it. I'll leave it there. If you guys really liked this, just let me know, comment, like the video, and I'll do this more. I think this is very valuable research just to get to know the market, understand Steam better, and start to get intuition for what games sell and which ones don't. So I've got my own Vampire Survivors inspired game coming out that I'm working on. So if you're into that, then like and subscribe, and you'll be able to see more. So thanks. See ya.